teacher webinar. I'm so excited, I'm so delighted to welcome you all. And if you're watching the recording, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening, anytime you're watching the recording, I'm super glad to welcome you all to this webinar. The title of the webinar is The Mindset of a Successful Teacher. And that simply means that when you say mindset, the best way to put it, even though it's bigger than that, is how you think. So when we say mindset is successful teacher, we mean how do successful teacher think? How do successful teacher think? And then before we go, there are a lot of things we're going to be talking about today, and I really want you to pay attention as much as possible because, and I'm glad this is being recorded. I need to share this first before I even go in. I've first got the idea of writing a book on this particular subject, mindset of a successful teacher, in in 2022. So I said I'm going to write a book on it, but unfortunately, I did not work on the book. Don't let me say I was not able to. I did not work on it. Okay, but then in in my one of the common denominator, one of the common thing that separate or one of the things that separate people who succeed in any times with people who don't succeed is the way they think, the way they see themselves, the way they see what they do, the way they think about things even going on around them. So right now, mindset is something that has been very, very important since the beginning of time. But guess what? This time around that we are right now, mindset is very, very important. Why? Because when you hear mindset, what does it mean? Mindset comprised of two words, mind and set. So mindset means the way you set your mind. It's like when you say setting of something, and you know the way you set something will determine the way it's going to work. If you set it well, it will work well. If you don't set it well, it's not a cause, it will not work well. And that is it. But guess what? Unfortunately, as important as mindset is, most just don't even know that there's something exists or something called mindset. Those that know that mindset exists don't even know the power it has or the effect it has on their life or how it even determines their life. And then, so that's the first thing. The first thing is understanding mindset. The second thing is to understand how mindset determines our life. And the third thing is to understand the mindsets that successful teachers have. Now, before we now go into the mindset that successful teachers have, then we need to talk about the identity of a successful teacher. So the first thing we're going to talk about in this webinar is the concept of mindset. Then the second thing is the power of perception, how you perceive things, and how it affects your life. The third one is how your mindset determines your life set. The fourth one is the identity of a successful teacher. And then lastly, what are the mindsets that every successful teacher has? Okay, so are we ready to go? We're ready for this. Let me see. Ready in the chat box. Let me see. Ready. Go to the group. If you're on the WhatsApp group, I'm very sure that's how you get this. Send a message. Put a message on the WhatsApp group to let them know that we have started this. That this we're ready to go on. Okay. So can I see ready? Can I see ready so I can move on? Can I see ready? Can I see someone type ready? Okay, so I'm really excited about this. Okay, so let's move on to the first thing. So the first thing now is to understand what mindset is about. And I said, mindset is a set of beliefs that shape how you make sense of the world and yourself. I'm going to say that again. Mindset is a set of beliefs that shape how you make sense of the world and yourself. So mindset is simply, again, as I was saying, mindset is simply how your mind is set. And it's a set of beliefs. It's not just one belief. It's like an accumulation of beliefs. Okay, accumulation of belief that now shape how you see the world, what you think about the world, what you perceive about the world, and then about yourself too. So mindset comes start from just like when you say a set, when you say set of something, set is like a group of objects. Okay, so mindset is like a set of beliefs like a combination of some specific beliefs that you have, which most of the time you may not even know that you have them. And then once they come together, they become united, and then they shape and control your life. They control how you make sense, the decision you make, the things you do, the way you say things, the way you think about the world, the way you think about yourself, the way you perceive things. So that is what mindset is about. And then to understand mindset, since we have said mindset is how you set your mind and a set of belief. Then to really go deeper to understand mindset, then we need to understand our mind. We need to understand what does how do our mind operate, and because as I've explained, mindset is the way we set our mind. So the question now is that what is our mind and how do our mind operate? So our mind is that part of our body. It's like the seat of thinking. So there is a difference between our mind and our brain. Okay, our mind and our brain. So our mind is like a part of our soul. Yes, a part of our soul. While our brain is the physical component, okay, that communicates with our mind. So our brain is actually like a physical component of our mind where we think. So we use our brain to think. But this thinking actually is something very, very, how should I call it? Is something, is like a very small part of our mind itself. Okay? And this leads us to understanding the two types of minds. We have the subconscious mind and we have the conscious mind. Our conscious mind is our active mind. As I'm talking right now, you are listening to me, you're hearing what I'm saying. That's your conscious mind doing the work. You're actively listening to me. That's a conscious mind. But your subconscious mind is actually the one that works in the background. Okay, you can't say it the way you can't see your conscious mind, you can't see your subconscious mind too. But it works more in the background. So how does it work? So when something, just like we have something we call long-term memory and we have short-term memory. So something you see right now, something you see for the first time, it gets stored in your conscious mind because you're constantly thinking about it. But now here is now the issue that once you stop thinking about it, you stop thinking actively about it. If this particular thing is impressed on your mind to an extent, it gets taken to your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind is actually the storehouse of everything in your life. Yes, the storehouse. I don't know if you have heard this statement before. There's this thing they always say, the internet does not forget. Okay, welcome, Mr. John. The internet does not forget. And to use the mind as an example, the mind of an human being does not forget. That's why they always tell people, and everybody must know that you have to be very careful what you experience in life. In fact, what you say to people, what you see with your eyes, what you hear, you have to be very, very careful because your mind does not forget. Once it gets impressed, anything that you feel deeply enough is going to stay with you the rest of your life. There is nothing you can do about it. So your conscious mind is your active mind, the one you used to think with time. But then it gets to a point where this particular thing that you use your active mind to think about got impressed in your mind so much that it moved to the conscious mind, to the subconscious mind. And guess what? Your subconscious mind is like 95% of your mind, while the conscious mind is like just 5% of it. So what it means is that the capacity of the conscious mind is very small. Like there's a limit to what it can contain or to the information it can work on at a particular time. So when the load is getting too much, what does it do? And if something is very important and it needs to take in something else, so instead of throwing it away, it takes it to the subconscious mind. So whenever you need that particular information the next time, it does not have to actively think about it again. You just go and retrieve it. It's like, for example, let's use this as an example. If you learn how to drive, when you first start learning how to drive, you realize that you tend to pay attention a lot. When you're driving, you cannot do any other thing, any other thing. You can't even receive call. You can't do anything. You just have to focus on where you're going. Focus 100% on where you're going. Why? Because as at that time, you're still using your conscious mind to drive. So your mind has to focus on it. After a year or 2 years of driving, you realize that you can literally close your eyes and drive across some area. You already know where the potholes are. You already know how to turn, the degree that you need to turn the steering. You already know where to go. You can be driving and still be receiving call, be chatting with your friend. Why? Because this thing is already stored in your subconscious mind, and then it has become something automatic that you don't need to think about it. And that is the problem. Because when anything becomes automatic, that you don't need to think about it again, that means it controls your life. Unfortunately, there are a lot of things in our life right now that are automatic, that just happen. There are some things you just see and you will act some way, and you feel like, why do I always react like this? There are some things you know that when someone said this thing, or once I see this thing, this is the next thing I'm going to do. It's an automatic something. And the thing is, all successful people, one of the things they have in common is they have that you can't control your subconscious mind. You can't like say, okay, this is what I want you to think. No. But the most important thing is that they try as much as possible to know what they are thinking, to question themselves, to know why they do something. Because there are some things that it becomes so automatic that you don't even know why you do it. You just know that you do it. And guess what? When it gets to that point, this particular thing, they run your life. They run it. I can see that we're having more people. Welcome, Mr. Ishola. Welcome, Mrs. Odulade. They run your life. So I'm trying to explain the subconscious and the conscious mind. So your conscious mind is your active mind, the one you used to think. But it gets to a point that the things you think actively about, they get so much impressed on your mind that they move to the subconscious mind. Guess what? Once they get to the subconscious mind, they become automatic. They become a part of your programming, a part of the programming that run your life. So part of understanding mindset is to understand that most of the things that 95% of what controls your life today, you are not aware of it. You are not. Because the subconscious mind is the storehouse of everything, has everything stored. The things you do 20 years to this time is in your subconscious mind. That is why some things trigger some things. For example, now you have watched a movie for, let's say, 20 years ago. You watched a movie 20 years ago, and then for some reason or something just happened, and you saw something similar to what you watched in the movie. You realize that you remember that movie vividly as if you watched it yesterday. Why? Because it is stored in your memory. It's stored. Though, and that's it, the fact that you don't remember something right now, the fact that you're not actively thinking about something right now does not mean it's not in your head. No, it's there. And that's, as I explained again, you have to be very careful of all the experience you expose yourself to. I'm still going to come to that. Now, part of understanding mindset, I've said, the subconscious mind is passive. It is not, even though it is active, as anything active can be, because it does not sleep. While you are sleeping, your subconscious mind is still working. It's still working. It's only your conscious mind that rests, that sleep when you sleep. Once you are you're sleeping, when you're sleeping, you're awake, your subconscious mind is working. It's only when you are awake that your conscious mind works. But even though your subconscious mind seems to be passive because you don't necessarily control it, okay, you have to understand that your subconscious control your conscious, because it is in the thing that you have stored in your subconscious that will determine how you're going to think in any particular moment. And this takes us to another very, very important point, that in every area of life, the invisible creates the visible. The invisible creates the visible. Remember, we're talking about the mindset of a successful teacher. We are still trying to understand what mindset is about. And why is this so important? Is that when you understand that invisible creates the invisible, you will know that the mindset, your mindset that people cannot see, that you yourself cannot see, actually creates the reality that you can see in your life, or the reality that people can see in your life. because your mindset determines your belief. Your belief determines your thinking. Your thinking determines your feeling. Your feeling determines your action or decisions, and the actions that you take determines your results. So the invisible actually create the visible, just like the seed or the roots in the ground, below the ground that you cannot see, actually create the fruits that you can see on a particular tree. So in every facet of life, what are the invisible, what you cannot see, create what you can see. Your inner world creates your outer world. The way your mind is set will determine the way your life is set. It's not a cause, it's just a natural law. That the way you set your mind works internally is the way your life will work externally. Okay, now this leads us to perception. So the power of perception, and this is I'm relating this to teaching already, even though I'm still going to like explain more. But the power of perception is that the way you think, in fact, let me say it this way, in every area of life, your perception is bigger than your reality. It's even powerful than your reality. Okay, and let me give you this example. If you have two persons opposite each other, okay, opposite each other, or let's say you just go and you write an exam, because I want you to to pay attention to this. You go and write an exam, you write an exam, and the pass mark of the exam is 7. Okay, the pass mark of the exam is 7, and guess what? You did very well. You actually scored 9 in the exam. So the score was written on a white sheet of paper, and then it was placed on a particular table with two judges facing each other, opposite each other. Now, just one of the judge will announce your score. Just one of the judge will announce your score. Okay, so let's say there are 3 judges. The first judge was the one that writes 9 on that sheet of paper. Then he places it on the table where the 2 other judges are sitting. But one of the 2 other judges are the one that will call out the score. And the score they call out will determine whether you qualify for that, you pass the exam or not. Now you realize that this is where the issue comes from. Because the 2 judges are sitting opposite each other, what it means is that one of them will be seeing 6 and the other will be seeing 9. Okay, depending on the way the paper is positioned. So one of them will see 6, the other will see 9. So even though the person that wrote this thing actually wrote 9, that does not stop the person that is sitting across the paper to see 6. Okay, so one person will see 6, one person will see 9. But and we all know both of them are right. It's just what they see. So what it means is that if the person seeing 6 stood up and say, "Hello, ladies and gentlemen, the score for Mr. Abdelaziz in this particular exam or at this stage is 6." What does that mean? It means I'm going no. It's not that I did not qualify. What it means is his own perception bigger than the reality. But what if I score 6 and the person saw 9 and the person called out 9? What does it mean? Something I'm not qualified for it, automatically I become qualified for it. Power of perception. So what it means is that most of the time in life, it is not what you say, it is how you perceive things that determines what you do. If you're going, let me give you another example. If you are a doctor, you're a medical doctor, over 20 years of experience, you are the best doctor in the world. But for some reason, or let's say we're having an experiment, we take the best doctor in the world and we give him or her an overall of a mechanic. We give him or her let's say him overall of a mechanic. And then we give a mechanic the lab codes of a doctor. We give him all his equipment. In reality, the person wearing the overall of a mechanic is the doctor, while the person wearing the lab coats is the mechanic. But if you are to be going across the street and something happened, or you saw someone that has an accident and the person is unconscious, and two of these people run towards the same person to help, who are you going to allow to treat the person? The one with the white lab coat or the one with the blue overall of a mechanic? I really want to I want to hear your answer, please. Who will you allow? Let's say the person, go for put the person is someone you know. Who are you going to allow to actually touch the person or to help the person? The one in the white lab coat or the one in the blue overall? I really want your answer. This is very important for where we are going. Hello, can anybody? Am I still? Can you still hear me loud and clear? I can't see anyone. Okay, the one in white. Thank you so much, Mr. Blazes. The one in white. Why? Because to us, based on perception, he is a doctor because he's in the outfit of a doctor. And because of that, we're going to permit him to treat the person, even though he knows nothing about treating someone. And if he die, if the person later die, we will not even blame him too much because we feel like maybe he's not just able to save him. But if it is the blue overall, the one putting on the blue overall, let's say he's the only one there, best medical doctor, but inside, thank you, Mr. John, but in a blue overall, was the one treating the person, but for some reason, the person gave up the ghost. We're going to blame him. We're going to say, it's my doctor. Then why do you go and do it? I know you're a mechanic. Mechanic. That's like how life works. Perception versus reality. And guess what? What you perceive or how you perceive things determines how you behave towards that particular thing. Where am I going? As a teacher, how do you see yourself? That's the question. What does being a teacher means to you? Does being a teacher mean someone whose reward is only in the heaven? Because I want you to answer the question. Does being a teacher mean someone who can either be a teacher or can be rich? You know, one of the things that always give me issue, especially on the online space, is seeing people that will say, I remember when I was still a teacher, earning 15,000 naira per month. And I will be like, what is that? Does it mean that being a teacher was the thing keeping you from being rich? No. So it's something you have to sit down and think about. What does being a teacher means to me? Does being a teacher means someone that can be successful, someone that can be wealthy, someone that can be rich, someone that can live in abundance, or am I a type of, or do I believe teachers are broke? Teachers are people who don't have enough. Teachers are people. Have you ever had it, or have you ever experienced it before? When people will be talking about something, or say, you see the car. I love this car. I'm going to buy this car. Or Mr. This thing, would you like to buy this car? And the first thing that comes to your mind is that, no, I cannot. I'm a teacher. Like, what does that mean? Where am I going again? Your perception as a teacher determines your life. And what does this mean? Is that, again, let's come from this angle. Try to remember when you are growing up, what do you think? What were you told? What do you hear about teachers? What do you hear about teachers? When you are growing up, do you grow up where you see teachers being rich? In fact, how many of us here actually make that they don't really have these things special that will make me want to be like them. You know, I love my teachers. They are fantastic. I'm the most amazing teacher I've ever seen. But even though I love them, that does not mean I want to live the life they're living. So most of us grow up knowing that teachers are poor and broke people. And see this perception that we have about teachers affect us. Why? Because your perception becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. What does a self-fulfilling prophecy mean? It means something that is not actually true, but because you believe in it, it becomes a prophecy for you, and it happened. And then when it happened, you feel like, I believe so. Like it's someone that was told to come and write a math exam, and before they give the person an exam, he or she, let's say he, let's use she has said, I am not good in math. So because she said she's not good in math, guess what happened? The questions are very simple. Just need her to maybe just do some small thinking. But because she already thinks she's not good in math, she doesn't even try her best. She doesn't even check the question. Just feel like, just choose one answer and just feel like, I'm not good in math. There's nothing I can do about it. And so because this person believe he or she is not good in math, he or she do not perform very well, do not give her best effort in the mathematics question that she was asked to solve. And then she missed or she failed that particular question. And then when she failed the particular question, she was like, Shibi, I said it. Didn't I say it? That I'm not good in math. So she did not fail the question because she's not good at math. She failed the question because she did not put in the necessary effort. She did not do what is required. But because of her already belief, her deep-rooted belief that she's not good at math, she did not give the effort necessary. And that's the problem of most teachers today. The problem is that because you already believe that teachers are broke, teachers are poor, you don't do anything that will make you become rich. Excuse me, everything that you do and repeatedly do, or repeatedly engage as a teacher, are things that will keep you broke and poor. Nothing will change in your life. It require you, and that's why you have to do a lot of introspection, a lot of like sitting down and think about it. And I want to start thinking about it. What does being a teacher means to you? What are the things you perceive as being a teacher? Then lastly is to know that when you change the way you see things, what you see changes. Yes, when you change the way you see things, the things you change, the things you see changes immediately. So that's why. So, and for you to change something, you have to first know that this thing is there. So you have to like first question yourself: what are the things I believe about teaching? What are the things I believe about the teaching profession? How have these things affect my life? How have these things contributed to who I am and where I am and what I have as a teacher today? Until you are able to do this, my mommy, my daddy, my brother, my sister, there is no hope yet. The hope is in because if you don't change the way you see something, the things you see cannot change. So if you want to change what you see, it starts from changing how you see it. Okay? Changing, just like what I when I said the two judges the other time, seeing 6 and 9. So if the person seeing 6 want to see 9, the person have to change how he or she is saying it. Probably change the position to come and see it as 9 now, or change the paper itself, or change the direction of the paper or the position of the paper to start saying 9. All right. So once you understand the power of perception and how perception leads to self-fulfilling prophecy, then we now need to see how our mindset determines our life set. And this thing is very simple. It's like a formula, it's like a programming formula, the way your life is programmed. So this thing, so your mindset itself is just like your programming. I would say programming. We say we program a computer. Programming, when you hear computer program or we hear software, it means a set of instructions that we give to a computer or that tells computer what to do. That's simply what program is about. So we hear programming too, or program in the human aspect is like a set of deep-rooted instruction that determines what you do in your life. that tells you what to do, that will practically, and literally run your life. That is what programming means. Now, how does this program also, we can use another word for it is conditioning. We say how you are programmed or how you're conditioned. And then the first thing about your programming that determines your programming is your mindset. Now, the way your mind is set, the way you think, the set of belief that you have about some particular thing determines how you are programmed. Now, let's now take it a bit further. So, your mindset in a particular area, because the mindset you have in a particular area is not the same as the mindset you have in another area. For example, you have a mindset, you can believe that you are a good parent, you're a good father, but you may not believe that you are a good brother. Okay, you might have a good mindset when it comes to the area of mathematics, that you can do mathematics. And I've seen this thing happens a lot for mathematics students. You see, mathematics student will tell you, I'm studying mathematics, I'm not good in English. Mathematics student will confidently tell you that they are not good in English because why? They are studying mathematics. So mathematics students, people that have growth mindset in mathematics, have a fixed mindset in English. And I've seen English students, as hard as English, they will tell you that they are not good in math, they can never be good in math. So they have growth mindset in English, but they have a fixed mindset in mathematics. So that's it. Now, the type of mindset you have about a particular thing will determine your belief. So let's use the two mindset for now: growth and fixed. And let's use mathematics as an example. So you have you have a growth mindset in mathematics and you have a fixed mindset in English, and so you believe that the growth mindset you have in your mathematics determines the belief you have about your ability to perform in mathematics. I hope you're getting that. So your mindset, the type of mindset you have when it comes to mathematics determines what you believe about yourself in the area of mathematics. So because you have a growth mindset now, it's easy for you to believe that you can perform well in math. Even when it is something you don't know or when it is challenging, you believe you can know it. That you believe that if you practice well enough, you're going to be good in it. But because you have a fixed mindset in English, you believe that no matter how much you teach me, I don't know. I don't know how to write letter. I don't know how to do these things. I just don't know how to speak phonetics. I don't just know how to speak with good and correct grammar. That is it. So we are now on the level of belief because this is a belief as step by step, they are level by level. The first level is mindset. For mindset, remember, mindset is a set of belief. So from this set of belief, that means for a particular mindset that you have in a particular area, there is a combination of belief in that particular mindset. Now, inside this combination of belief, we take just one out of it, which is that I'm not good. I'm good in math. I can perform well in math, but I can't perform well in English. Now, this belief determines your thinking in that particular area. So what it means is that if I go to a place and they give me a mathematics question, I am going to think that I can do it because it is what? Mathematics, and I believe I can perform excellently in math. And you are in that particular place and someone give me an English assignment to help him or her with, because I believe that I'm not good in English, I'll tell the person I'm not an English teacher, that I can't teach what? English. So hope you can say the mindset determine the belief determine our thoughts. Now your thoughts determine your feelings. So what it means is that when you think that you can do something, you feel enthusiastic about it. You feel good about it. Okay? Because our thoughts actually determines our feeling. And I need to say this because one of the ways to know your life, to know what is going on in your life, is to a day of seeing what that means. of 60,000 thoughts a day, which means if you even decide to monitor these thoughts one by one, you will not be able to get them, to know everything you're thinking about. In fact, right now, as you're listening to me, you don't know 1% of what you're thinking about. But guess what? Your thoughts, the way to know your thoughts, to know what you're thinking about, is to know how you feel. Because your thoughts determine your feelings. That's why sometimes you can just sit down in one place and just start feeling sad. And then you start questioning yourself. Like, why am I feeling sad? At that particular moment, what it means that as you start feeling sad, it means you have been having some negative thinking. You have been thinking about some things that lead to that sad feeling, to that feeling of sadness. The same thing when you are hungry, you feel like I feel hungry and I'm hungry. So you have been thinking about it in your head. I need food. I need food. I need to eat. You're already feeling it in your body already. That your body requires food. So you start feeling hungry. Start feeling tasty. Okay. So your thoughts determine your feeling, and guess what? Your feeling determines your action. Your feeling determines your action. So the way you feel determines the way you act. If you feel good, you're going to do something good. If can greet you now, can say I to you, and you tell the person I because you're feeling okay. And that's another person can come and say I, but because you are angry, you just feel like, is that how to greet people? Yes, and just feel like, just get out of here. Why? Because of how you are feeling, it determines how you act. That's why there's always this thing. There's something we call positive mental attitude. That when you feel good, you tend to do good. It's just a normal thing. If you're feeling bad, you can't expect a good fruit to come out from a bad seed. No. So your feelings determines the action. Remember, your mindset determines your belief determines, and your feeling believing that you perform excellently in maths. And that means that when you're in a math class, when you're teaching math, you think that you can actually do well in mathematics, and which leads to the feeling of enthusiasm, to the feeling of confidence, that you feel confident in yourself that you can actually do well in mathematics. And because you feel confident that you can do well in mathematics, you put in your best in your exam, or you try as hard as you can in your exam. That's action. And then because you try as hard as possible in your exam, you get the best results. Now, guess what? You see that is a cycle, and the cycle does not end. It goes on and on. Why? Because your result reinforces your mindset. So when you perform very well in mathematics, it will reinforce the fact that you can perform excellently in maths, which reinforces the belief, and it goes on and go on like that, and it becomes a particular thing. Mindset determines your life set, because these things either become a favorable cycle or it becomes a vicious cycle, because it go on, your mindset will go on to affect your results. Your results will reinforce your mindset, and your mindset will cause the result to happen again, and the result will reinforce the mindset. So which means, so what do we now need to change? It must change from the programming, and which means you have to first think about, what am I doing wrong? What are the negative beliefs? What are the disempowering beliefs that I have that determines my thoughts? Because guess what? Most of the times, these things are unconscious. The only thing that are most conscious that you can see or really get the evidence of are your feelings and your action. So I want you to sit down and question yourself today. think about it. What is those things? Like, think about it in a particular day. What 5 things do you do regularly on a daily basis? And ask yourself, why do I do these things? Then you start seeing the pattern. You start seeing the pattern when you ask yourself why, and you get an answer. Ask again, why do I do this one too? See, you see the deep rooted. You see how deep rooted the belief is. Just remember, the invisible create the visible. Anything that you do in your life that you do externally can only happen externally because there is something backing it up internally. Just like a computer, everything that shows on your monitor must have shown or must have happened in the microprocessor, but has happened as a program that you cannot see before it becomes something you can see. Okay, so that is how mindset determines your life set. I hope you're with me. Are we getting it so far? Are we understanding how this is going? So once you understand the power of mindset and how mindset affects our life set, then the next thing we now need to check is, because remember, we're talking about the mindset of a successful teacher. So which means beyond understanding mindset, they also need to define who a successful teacher is. And here's my definition. Okay, so I say a successful teacher is one who has a profitable and a fulfilling teaching career. One who is proud of being a teacher. So I want to ask you, are you proud of being a teacher? Can you go to anywhere, in any time, any place, and announce to them that I am a teacher? So that's one side. Then let's come to the idea of profitable and fulfilling teaching career. So there are two parts. Fulfilling is when you know that you're doing something you enjoy, something you're passionate about. You feel that you're making an impact. You feel that you're making a difference. So you feel fulfilled. You do it. You are happy. You're so happy about it. You are satisfied with it. You are contented. You are even grateful. You feel fantastic. You feel amazing. You feel pumped up for doing it. You feel so much joy. You derive joy from it. That's fulfillment. Guess what? Most teachers actually feel this. The particular area where we are lagging behind is profitability. Because I always say fulfillment without a corresponding compensation will lead to frustration. Yes. So if you are fulfilled, if you are not getting the compensation, the corresponding compensation that can match the fulfillment you are having, it will turn to frustration. Because you can teach, you know how, and this are things that have happened to me some time ago. You know how you go to a class, you teach, let's say it's the middle of the month, and you teach to your best. You teach these people, you are so happy, they are so happy, they got everything they got. You want them to learn. But then after the class, you remember your bank accounts, your bank balance. You remember the number of things you need to get, the number of things you need to buy. And then you also remember the fact that it's just the middle of the month, that you have to wait till the end of the month before you can be able to get any of these things done. And then this feeling of sadness starts creeping in, and the fulfillment that you're feeling starts getting soaked in that feeling of sadness, because there is no corresponding, the profitability is not there, at least yet. So to be a successful teacher, I believe you have to be profitable. That means you are able to do what every other person is doing. You're able to do things what you want to do it. You're able to live in abundance. You don't have to wait at the end of the month to get anything you want to get done. You are able to do whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it. And while you're doing this, you are still able to feel fulfilled and to feel contented about you being a teacher. Now, I just highlighted 3 metrics that all successful teachers have and meet. The first one is that, because as I've said, for you to be a successful teacher, you need to have a profitable and fulfilling teaching career. And these 3 things are the key to having profitable and fulfilling teaching career. Number 1, impact beyond the classroom. What does that mean? It simply means that whatever you do as a teacher must not be limited to your classroom. You are the best mathematics teacher in the world. But unfortunately, the only people who know you are the best, or the only people who have access to that genius of you, is the only people in your classroom. The only people who benefit from your years of experience, in teaching, are the only students or the only people in your classroom. So for you to truly have a profitable teaching career, you must teach beyond the classroom. Very, very important. The second thing is that these teachers, another thing that these teachers also have in common is that they have some level of influence. They are seen as an authority in their field. And how do they become seen as an authority? Is that they put themselves out. They are known for what they do beyond the four walls of their school. You get what I'm saying? You are the best. Have you not seen teachers? This award, Motivational Teacher of the Year award, all these other awards. The teachers that got awarded these things are not teachers who are only known in their school or only known in their community. They are teachers who have built authority around what they do and have become known about that particular thing already. So I want to ask you, if they are calling the first 10 teachers, the first 10 mathematics teacher in Nigeria or in your school or in your community, will you be one of them? And how will you be one of them? If the only, and guess what? It's not a cause. You can't be one of them. If the only people, and that is what you have to know, that you see these three things, they actually lead to each other. Yes, they lead to each other. Once you start making impact beyond the classroom, it means the people that know about you will go beyond the people in your local environment. Because if someone in Abuja can learn from you that you are in Lagos, it means your influence has gotten to Abuja. So the person can now meet his friend and say, wow, you see this person I'm learning from, the person is in Lagos, but I'm actually learning from the person from what? Abuja. So which means while you are in Lagos, your influence, your impact is being felt in Abuja. And impact is what actually leads to influence. So the number of people you impact determines the quality of your influence. So if the only people who are benefiting from you are the only people in your school, that means those are the only people you have influence on. Those are the only people that can be influenced by what you do. But once your impact goes beyond your classroom, people will start seeing you as an authority. People will start seeing you as an authority in that field, because now you're not just a local champion. You are now someone that goes beyond his or our local environment, and then who is making impact in other areas. Now, what does this result into? When you have this level of authority, it leads to income. And because, see, if you teach only in your classroom, the only reward you can get is your month-end salary. Month-end salary. And trust me, that cannot get you anywhere. There was a time I posted a content on Facebook. The title of the post was "The Bitterest Truth About Teaching," or the most bitter truth about teaching. And what is this truth? Is the fact that your salary cannot make you rich. And I can say that anywhere. Your salary alone cannot make you rich. So if the only thing you do is limit yourself to your classroom alone, then when you start taking your impact, start making impact beyond your classroom, which give you a level of influence beyond the local environment, you also start getting position to make income beyond your month-end salary. Okay, and all these combined together are what is going to determine your level of success as a teacher. So it's going to determine determine how fulfilled you are, and how profitable your teaching career is going to be. I hope you're together. Please let me know. Are you getting it? Am I being clear? Are you learning at all? We are almost running up already. So let me know. Are you getting value? Are you getting value at all? Just one slide to balance this off, and that is the mindset. Because now that we have defined who a successful teacher is, now let's now see. And I think this is why you are here. All the other ones, including this particular slide, are actually preamble. The most important part is now the mindset that teachers who have this quality that I've just explained, the mindset they have, okay, the mindset they have, the mindset that they all possess. And number one, the growth mindset. The growth mindset. What does the growth mindset mean? Growth mindset is that belief, is that set of belief that you can do anything. That's not really that you can do anything, but it's that mindset that give that belief in efforts over innate ability. That type of mindset that believe that you can actually grow, and from the word growth mindset, it means you can actually grow. And how does this contribute to success, to being a successful teacher? Why? Because when you believe that you can become a better teacher in your life, what does it mean? It means you are more open to learning new things. It means you are more open to trying new things. But when you are a fixed mindset, but you are but you are when you are fixed minded, okay, so you believe that your ability is fixed, that your ability cannot change, that no matter how much you try, you cannot know more than what you currently know. That if you are not good in math today, you cannot be good in math tomorrow. And this will affect your the way you relate with your students. Because when you see a student that is not good in a particular subject, you are fixed minded. You give up on the excuse me, you give up on the student immediately, feeling like if you are not good in it, that means if you are not good in it now, that means you can never be good in it. Okay, but when you are growth minded, yes, growth minded, and that's the name of our academy, Growth Minded Educators Academy. Why? Because when I was first starting out, I read a book called Mindset: The New Psychology of Success, and that's what actually gave me. In fact, this is something that almost some of us have actually been exhibiting. We do in our class. For me particularly, the good mindset is something I've been showing, I've been working on, even though I don't know that there's any word like that until I read that particular book. I read the book the first time in 2019. Okay, that was when I get introduced to growth mindset, and I have to like study more. Okay, so that's growth mindset. So when you believe that you can get better, all successful teacher, not successful teacher alone, successful people believe in their ability. They are now, I need to say this, they are successful people who actually are fixed minded, but go and check it. They don't have sustainable success. Yes, they get to the top, but most of the time they are not able to stay there because there's a saying that what gets you to the top cannot what gets you here cannot take you there. And there's this saying that say it's easier to get to the top than to stay there. And in fact, you have to know what gets you to the top cannot sustain you at the top. So growth mindset, when you have a growth mindset, you actually believe that there is more, that you can become more, that you can learn, that mistake is part of life, that failure is simply feedback, that failure is not a bad thing, that the fact that you can't do something at this moment does not mean you can't learn how to do it, that you can learn, that you can grow, that you can become better. And when you have this mindset, there's nothing you cannot achieve in life. Because anything you know, everything you have today, or anything you are not able to do today, you already see it as something that is a stage. Like even the fact that you can't do it today does not mean you cannot be able to do it tomorrow. So if there is something, if let me use the technology as an example. After COVID-19, technology started becoming something that people want to learn about. But you know what? There are some group of teachers who feel like, no, me, I'm old. I'm not a 21st century some person. I cannot use technology. I cannot do this. I cannot do that. There's nothing I can do. Even if I learn, I cannot be able to do that. These are fixed-minded people. Why? Because things will always change. Whatever you know how to do today, in 10 years' time, it will have become obsolete. Some things, no matter how good you are today, 1, 2 years, something new will come out, will be invented. If you are not growth-minded, you will not be willing to try it. And if you're not willing to try new things, you will be dispensable. You will be displaced. You will be replaced. And it will affect your success. So again, all successful people, all successful teachers are growth-minded. They believe they can do more. They believe they can become better, regardless of whatever they have currently. Second, abundance mentality. These are people who believe that there's enough for everybody. They are teachers, they are people who believe that there is scarcity, that for them to pass, someone must fail. No, there are places and there are areas in life where if you are first, then another person has to be second. But generally in life, you have to know that the God that created us is an abundant God that have everything in abundance. And because they have everything in abundance, we also have everything in abundance for us. That the universe itself is abundant, that you can have all you want, and I can also have all I want, and it will not disturb each other. You know why this is very important? When you believe some people have to be poor to be rich, do you know what you're telling yourself is that if you are poor, you will say, it is because those people are rich, that's why I'm poor. You don't get it? And if you are rich too, you feel like, it's because I'm rich, that's why those people are poor. Or you believe that some people have to be poor for you to be rich. It doesn't have to be that case. Everybody can be rich. I always say it, everybody can be successful. The only reason why everybody will not be successful is because everybody is not willing to do what it takes to be successful. If everybody do what it takes to be successful, everybody will be successful. So abundance mentality. So because they believe that everything is abundance, what it means is that they have the confidence to go out and go and do something and to go and put in their ideas to work. They have this idea of a particular textbook to write. They write the textbook. They have this idea of something they can do in their school. They do it. They have the idea of a business they can run. They run it because they don't believe in scarcity. But for you, for other people, some teachers, they will be like, this person is doing it already. Me, I cannot do it again. No. Why? Didn't you know the number? Let me ask. Please, can someone comment a subject that you are teaching here? A subject teacher, just comment. Anybody, just tell me a subject you are teaching here. A subject, maybe math. I just want to use an example. So for you to know that things are abundant. A subject. This is subject that you're teaching. Just any subject. Okay, thank you. English. Okay, I think English is the first one I saw. So English. Can you tell me the number of textbook that's been written on English? Can you give me the amount? Is it countable? Is it countable? Okay, yes, reading, math. So I want you to ask yourself that question. How many textbooks has been written on that particular subject? It tells you that there's abundance. Because when you start thinking about it, you feel like, like that textbook. This person is writing, there are already enough textbook in mathematics already. So you don't want to write your own. What about the person that is writing, that he or she is writing his or her own right now? If the person that have written, okay, let me use mathematics as an example, because I'm a math teacher. There's new concept, there's new genre, there's man, there's man, there's new, I think, effective mathematics, there's hidden facts, there is comprehensive, that's 5 textbook. There is teach yourself mathematics, there is engineering mathematics, a lot. In fact, let me use engineering mathematics on its own. If you go to Google right now and you search for engineering mathematics, you get more than 10 results. Textbook bearing the same name, engineering mathematics. But what it means is that where I'm going is that for some people, when you have an idea, what the first thing that will stop you from that idea is that, hey, someone else is already doing it. Is the person doing it the way you want to do it? No. Is the person you? No. What if, for example, now as a math student, there's 2 textbooks that I will use. 2 engineering, it's not even engineering, advanced engineering mathematics. There's HK Das, engineering, advanced engineering mathematics. There is KH Stroud, advanced engineering mathematics. They are both advanced engineering mathematics textbook. One is by H.K. Das, one is by K. Stroud. So what if H.K. Das now said, what if H.K. Das have said, K. Stroud has already used an advanced engineering textbook, advanced engineering mathematics textbook. Me, I don't need to write it again. Or K. Stroud feel like, H.K. Das has already written his own, so I don't need to write it again. Just imagine if Toyota said, they are doing, Mercedes are producing motor car already. I don't need to produce. Or Ford, or Honda, or Nissan, or all those varieties of car that you see today. Just say, because someone is making car already, I don't need to make it. Just look at it, all the products, or close up, or let me say, or B. Say, because close up is already making toothpaste already, I don't need to make it. I don't need to make it again. It's abundance. It's for you to know that there's always your own share. So the fact that someone is doing something does not mean you cannot do it. The fact that someone is rich does not mean you cannot be rich. This mindset is something that is common among all successful teachers. I know I'm talking too fast. Come on, let me slow down a bit. I'm just so passionate about this. So when you believe that there's abundance, it gives you that opportunity, that confidence to own your stage, to do your own thing, regardless of whoever is doing it, because they cannot do it like you are doing it. And it makes you reach for the sky, because you know, say, because someone is successful, you cannot be successful. So because you have an abundant mentality, so other people's success will not be a problem for you. In fact, it will be an inspiration for you, because now you start thinking, if they can be successful, I can be too. If they can do it, I can do it too. That's abundance mentality. Next, entrepreneurial mentality. Most teachers, one of the biggest issues, and I've talked about this already, when I was talking about your salary cannot make you rich, is that we are too salary oriented. I don't know why. We only stay with our salary. We are too comfortable with our salary. You have to think like an entrepreneur. You have to know that even as a teacher that you're collecting salary, you're actually solving problems. Who are entrepreneurs? Entrepreneurs are people who solve problems for profit. The only thing is that every entrepreneur, the goal of every entrepreneur is profit and expansion. They want to solve problems for more people so that they can make more profit. But as teacher, our own entrepreneur is stop at teaching in a particular school. I'm not asking you not to teach in a particular school. Do it, please. We need teachers in all our schools. We need it. What I'm saying is, don't limit your teaching to just the one you are doing in your school alone. There are tons of things that you know. Think about it. The mathematics that you're teaching in your school is solving a particular problem. Now, answer this question. The pupil or your student you're teaching mathematics, are they the only one that need the mathematics that you know? No. So you have to think like an entrepreneur. Think, this thing that I have, this experience that I have, this skill that I have, this mathematics that I know how to teach very well, that I know how to work very well. What problem can it solve? And how can I make money solving this problem beyond my salary? Teachers, think beyond salary. You see, all these minds I'm giving you, they have their opposite. The opposite of growth mindset is fixed mindset. The opposite of abundance mentality is, they are even two. They are scarcity mentality and middle class mentality. Middle class mentality is just the idea of having enough. And these are something that our teachers really face. Just having enough, just want to be comfortable. See, there's always going to be a point where enough will not be enough anymore. So you have to have in abundance. Every suggested teacher wants to have in abundance. They don't just want to have something that is going to make them comfortable. Because there's this saying, there's something I love from Allah Connection. We always say, it's someone that is well that can donate blood. And there's this saying that say, you cannot give what you don't have. But guess what? I heard from John Obidi, I think it was 2022. He said something. He said, even the one you have, you cannot give it. That you can only truly give out of your overflow. And it's true. If the only amount I have in my hand is 100 naira, and I want to use it to buy that's the last money on me, and I want to use it to buy something I'm going to eat that particular day. And then someone now come and say, Mr. Abdul, please give me your 100. Please do you have 100 naira? Yes, I will tell you I have, but I can't give you. But that's the last one in my hand, so that I want to use. It means to help people, to able to make impact the way you want to make it, you need to have in abundance. And this is something every successful teacher think. They don't just think about themselves alone. They think in abundance because they know that when they have an abundance, they'll be able to help people. And thinking abundance is connected with entrepreneurial mentality because it means that you are not just staying with your salary. You're not satisfied with your salary. It's between contentment and satisfaction. Yes, you're not satisfied with your salary because you can have more. You can what? Have more. So the best thing to do is to go for the more that you can have. The next one is responsibility mentality. Most teachers, all successful teachers take responsibility for their life. They don't blame the economy, they don't blame the government, they don't blame their school owner. They take responsibility, they don't complain, they don't lament unnecessarily. They believe that they are the one in charge and in control of how their life is going to work out. So they believe that they are the driver. They believe that they are the driver, that they are the one that determines what goes on in their life, not the economy. Okay? There's something we call the opposite of this is the entitlement mentality and victim mentality. Entitlement mentality is the fact that you believe that people have to do for you, that other people owe you something, that the government need to provide you with palliative, that the government need to subsidize for you. I'm not saying they should not do it, but I'm telling you that it is not, you don't have to wait for it. Entitlement mentality is believing that everything good that you want, someone else must do it for you. The second one is victim mentality, which is that everything bad that happened to you is not your fault, it's someone else's fault. And I always say something, you cannot change something you don't take responsibility for. If you don't take responsibility for your life, you cannot change your life for good. If you believe that it is President Tinubu's regime that is making your life miserable, it means until we change President Tinubu to another government, your life will not become less miserable. Yes, because if the things that is affecting your life has not changed, your life too cannot change. So all successful teachers take responsibility for their life. They believe that they are the one in charge, they are the one in control, they are the driver. They believe that if things are going well, they are the one to blame, they are the one to praise, they are the one to be applauded. If things are not going well, they are the one that have the responsibility to turn it around. And because of this responsibility mindset, they don't just sit down and complain and lament. They look for what to do to make their life better because they know that nobody is coming for them. They know that if it is going to be, it's up to them. So you have to know that it's up to you too. You want to become a successful teacher. Are we getting value so far? I really want to know. Are we getting value? Is this making sense at all? Is this making sense? Let me know. Yes, we have 2 to go. Is this making sense? Huh? Yeah, thank you. That is making sense. The next one is producer mentality. What is producer? The opposite of producer mentality is consumer mentality. Is the idea that you consume. I've once had Olakunle always say something that he has never seen a nation, no nation, and not just nation, no person can be rich or wealthy that consume more than they produce. The fact that we call you are called a producer does not mean you don't consume. Dangote, as productive as he is, let me use that word. I mean, as much as he's producing, does not eat everything he eats or use does not come from Dangote alone. He has to use some other things. The car Dangote is using is not Dangote that produces it. But the most important thing is that Dangote produce enough to offset what he consumes. He produce enough to provide for what he consumes. But most of us, we only consume. Teacher, let me shock you. Have you ever used your own textbook before? Or don't you know that the textbook you use to teach your students in school is a form of consumption? You have been teaching mathematics for the past 10 years. Is that not a sign that you do enough? You are a working textbook. Who tell you that you cannot create a textbook yourself? You are a reading teacher. You teach reading. Can you not come together, sit down? A month is enough for you to put together, to write something, a simple guide that will help students to start reading very well. They're not asking you to come and do something different. It's simply what you have been teaching in your class. Most of these textbooks, when you use them, you realize that most of them. Is that not enough reason for you to also stand and say, okay, me too, no, I want to be called an author? Let me see. I think I have a textbook here similar to this place, and I'm very sure it's textbook that everybody everybody are familiar with. There is new general mathematics there. If you check the word for GSS2, you will see MF Markway, AO Kalejaye, ZI Chima, GU Gaba. Is that the name of? Are those name of aliens? No, it's the name of teachers like you and me. But they produce. It is their knowledge they put together. If I check, let me check. The first time this thing was published, okay, was first published in 2014. No, that's a lie. It has been published before 2014. Unless let me use probably we published rather. Oh yeah, I think this one is revised. Yes, the one with me is revised. But I know that New General Mathematics has been long, but then they revise it. It's part of it. So what am I saying? Produce. Think about it. What can you produce in your life? See, people cannot give you money for free. You can't make money without production. Nobody can make it. You can't make money without production because people will not give you that money for free. You have to give them something in return. And go and check the people that are rich, the most successful people in life are people that produce. The teacher that we are saying, they make impact beyond the classroom. The things that they are making impact with beyond the classroom, that's their own production. But you see me put a course together, a training together, and you register for the training. That's my own production. I will not just call you and say, oh, Miss Keniko, I need money. Come and give me. You feel like, did I know you? Yeah. But when you put together something of value that people need, that solve a particular problem for people, they are willing to pay you. So if the only thing you do is consume, my sister, my brother, my mom, my dad, you are not ready. The most successful teachers don't just consume. Yes, they do consume, but they also produce to the extent that their production is able to afford them the opportunity to consume anything that you want to consume. Let me even shock you. Even the consume that you are consuming, you're not even consuming. And I don't want to stand so this thing, but I just want to be frank as possible. The consume that we consume, let me use me too, that we consume, it's not even standard consumption. Why? Because you're not producing enough. When you produce some level, you'll be able to consume whatever you want to consume, whenever, wherever you want it. You don't have to look at the price tag anymore. You don't have to look for it. You don't know that you're actually producing. The teaching you are teaching in your school is a form of production, only that you have put a lid on your production. So you limit what you produce, and because you limit what you produce, you limit what you earn. And because you limit what you earn, you also limit what you can consume. Because you can only consume freely at the end of the month. Thank God. Today is 10th, so it's still the beginning of the month. By 28th now, some teachers are already zero. They're not even zero. Some are already on minus already. That's it. I'm not saying that this thing is going to change a day. No, it does not change, but it starts somewhere. And it starts by getting to that point where you understand what is really going on and you make a decision to make it change. Remember, what you don't take responsibility for, you cannot change. The last thing, focused mentality. Focused mentality. The opposite of this one is nomadic mentality. And what was who can I want to rest a bit. So I want someone to help me with this. Who is a nomad? Please. Who is a nomad? Who do we call a nomad? Who do we call a nomad? Who do we call a nomad? I'm on the chat. I want to see what you're typing. Who do we call a nomad? Because I want a person to actually define this for me so that I can be able to. Thank you. This is all today. Someone that moves around. It means someone that does not stay in one place. Someone that go from one place. And that's their own job. Because most of the people we call nomad are people that wear cattle. They move cattle from one place to another, looking for greener pastures. Guess what? That's the problem of most teachers too. We are simply looking for greener pasture up and down. That the pasture that we are currently on, which is going to be green tomorrow, we leave it to go and look for another greener pasture. So one of the other minds of a successful teacher is a focused mentality. That they are able to focus on one particular thing at a particular time without moving from one place to another. This focused mentality will require a spirit of perseverance, of endurance, of persistence, of sticking to it. There's something I'm currently reading a book called 3 Feet from Gold. 3 Feet from Gold. And it is a story of a particular person that was working on a gold mine, and then they got to a particular point, they lost the vein of the gold, and the person gave up, saw the equipment, and then the person that bought the equipment simply go and get some experts to check the vein, and they realized that the vein has simply broken and it's just 3 feet. And the person, the former person, was actually 3 feet from getting to the biggest goal ever. Gold ever. And you can search this. It's actually a true story. I think the name of the person is Ayu Dabe. Ayu Dabe. If you have read Think and Grow Rich, it's shared in Think and Grow Rich. So what am I saying? Is that you have to have that thing we call stickability, the ability to be able to stick to one thing. See, the idea you are currently working on that you feel like giving up on might actually be the big break you have been praying for. Successful teachers stay on it. This thing also is also with students too. One student is not responding. So before you know it, you become nomadic, start moving from one student to another. Is the one that is working with that you call your students. No. So you have to have this level of focus that make you stand there, that make you stick to it. Because the success that you are looking for will not come. And that's where growth mindset also comes in. Because if you fail, if you are a fixed-minded person and you fail in one thing, you believe because you fail, that means you don't have the ability. And then you just pack up, you pack your load and go to another thing. Not knowing that it may just be one thing that you are missing. So, focused mentality. So that's where I'm going to stop today. Mindset of a successful teacher. So let me know, how was today, please? How was the session? Do you have any question and answer? Any question? Thank you so much for being part of this webinar. I really hope that you have learned as much. I myself have learned a lot, and I'm really glad that you are still here. We are 8 people here, 8 phenomenal people, including myself, amazing persons. Okay, so please, do you have any question and answer? Have any question? Any question? Any question? So while we're waiting, I have something I want to introduce to you. I have a very special opportunity I want to introduce to you. So let me know first. Do you have any question? I'm glad it's interesting that you really enjoy the class. I'm so glad you enjoy the class. So I want to introduce something to you, something that is going to help you achieve the 3 things I explained earlier that all successful teachers have in common. Impact beyond the classroom. They are an authority figure in their field, and they also make money. They have income beyond their salary. Okay. Okay, which one should I explain again, ma? Let me check that. Okay, entrepreneurship mentality is when you look for problem. Is when you are open to finding solution to problem. So to put it this way, there's a lot of things that you complain about as a teacher that are actually okay. For example, now a person has been part of my training before, and she was like, one of the things that disturbed by the teaching, one of the problems she has in the teaching profession is that she's not able to get the material she needed. And I was like, and I give her the advice, okay, if you're not able to get the material, what if that's a sign that you should be the one to create the material? If there's no material, so that's actually a problem. And someone that is thinking like an entrepreneur will feel like, okay, this is a problem. Can I find a solution to it and make money from it? Because once you start creating the material, it's not going to be only you. And in fact, most of the people, most of the big brother we see today, they all started very small, maybe just trying to solve a small problem. And how you know it, they scale it to become something big. So entrepreneurial mentality is when you when you are not just salary oriented, because it's 2 things. When you are salary oriented, it means you only want to get salary. You are not, the risk is not there. You're not willing to take the risk that comes from being an entrepreneur. Okay, but when you are an entrepreneur, yeah, the risk is there, but you're willing to go for it. You're willing to try new opportunities. You're willing to see what you can do better in everywhere that you are. Okay, so that is what entrepreneurship mentality is about. I hope you understand that more. So, as I was saying, here's a special opportunity. So, in last year, I launched a program called the Business of Teaching Masterclass. And the program, the training is actually a 12 days training where I show teachers how they can create profitable business from their teaching career, how I expose them to the business side of teaching. Because I realize most of the things that affect a lot of teachers is that we understand the arts and science of teaching, but we don't understand the business of teaching. And so I launched this. We have the first and second edition last year, and then I'm bringing it back to give more teachers the opportunity to actually learn. And I have to tell you, almost everything that you learned from this particular training today is actually like called out from the training, because the training is 5 modules, and one of the module of the training is mindset programming, as you have seen here. So everything that you have learned here today actually is actually called from one module of the training, mindset programming. Okay, so in the business of teaching masterclass, you're going to learn everything about, you're going to understand, you're going to be exposed to what the business of teaching is all about. And then you're going to also be taken through the process of mindset of programming. So all these methods I've explained, you're going to get to learn more about them. Not just learn more about them, also going to learn how to develop each of them. And then also how to reprogram your mind. So actually go deeper into all these things beyond just showing you the mindset. I go deeper into, okay, how can you develop it? And then another thing you're going to learn is how to identify and monetize your profit centers. And what does profit center means? Excuse me, profit center simply means the things, the knowledge, the skills that you have that you can turn into money. And when I say turn into money, I mean that you can use to solve other people's problem. So we're going to be taking through the process of you identifying the skills that you have, the problem it can solve, the people it can solve the problem for, and how you can find those people. Okay, and I'm also going to be showing how to leverage social media to build a profitable business online as a teacher. And when I share this, these actually things I've done myself. So it's just like me trying to replicate the result I've gotten. I remember I said on this space is 2020, and I've really come a long way. So the idea is to get more teachers to understand the business of teaching. Because I remember when I started teaching online or training online, I started like, let's say, April 2020. But before I make my first dime, it was not until November when I attended a training relating to business that shows me that it goes beyond just having a skill. So as I've said, your salary is not enough to make you rich. So even as a school owner, even the most prosperous of the school owners are not school owners that depend only on the income coming from their school. There are people who have other sources of income. Probably they have some kind of knowledge, they have books that they sell, they have courses that they sell, they consult for other schools. Yes. So all those things are what comes together. And then lastly, selling and marketing strategies. I realized, and because that's one of the first challenges I have myself, that most teachers, we are not just afraid to sell, but we don't even know how to sell and market our product at all. Okay, so this is actually like a school of business for teachers on its own. Okay, so that's it. So if this is something you are interested, if you're interested in creating a profitable and fulfilling teaching career for yourself, this is something you don't want to miss. So apart from what all this that you're going to learn, you're also going to have access to these bonuses. Number one, before the training starts at all, you're going to get a 30-minute clarity session with me before the training. So in the clarity session, we're going to talk about the things you can do, the things like just going to give you like a background check on what you currently have and how the training can actually help you. And then after the training, we're going to have a 1-hour strategy session where we're going to talk about the execution plan on how you're going to be able to implement and execute everything you have learned, or the way forward. For example, now we have gone to the training, we have discovered the profit center you want to monetize. So how do you go about it? What are the next thing you're going to do? That's what we're going to discuss in the 1 hour strategy section. It's going to be for every single person. So it's something that is, I have to devote my time. I have to commit myself to. Another thing is you're going to have a 1 month group support, because I can assure you this is not something you're just going to learn in 12 days and it's going to end there. You're still going to have access to like a month-long support. And then it's going to get the certificate of participation. That one is just an extra. It does not really add or remove from what you're going to learn. Okay, so let me know, is this something you are interested in? This something, before I even tell you the date is going to come up. It's going to come up very soon. It's only open to just 20 teachers. Okay, and before I get to, so all these are what you're going to be getting access to in the business of teaching masterclass. Okay, let me know, is this something you are interested in? Going to learn the business of teaching. You're going to get access to a full package, a 3-part video on mindset of programming alone. Okay, so let me know, is this something you're interested in? Let me say that if you're interested in it, let me know. Will I even show you what it's going to cost you? Because trust me, it's not free. Yes, it's not free. And let me say this too, that's part of this mindset of every such teacher, is that we are willing to pay for knowledge. Okay, because naturally a lot of you to learn more. You want to make more money. You require you to know to. In fact, if you are not doing something or you are not getting some results in your life right now, it means there are some things you don't know. Okay, it means there are something you don't know, and to know those things, you have to be willing to pay for them. You have to be willing to pay to know them. If the only thing you're looking for is, if the only thing that you show up for is free things, what it means is that when you later get to the stage where you want to offer your own products for free, you will not be able to ask for people to pay for it, because you have simply not paid your own due. The reason why I can come here and ask you to pay for something like this is because, trust me, I've paid my dues. I said I've started this is 2020, investing in myself. There are a lot of things, most of the things I'm teaching, they're not things that you just read in a book or people just tell you for free. In fact, to be very frank, and there are some things I can never teach for free, and there are some things people don't teach for free. That's just how it works. Okay, so that's it. So the training, so yeah, the registration details for the training. So the training is going to start next week by 17th of February. That means next week Saturday, and it's going to run for 8:30. It's going to be 8:30 p.m. daily. I mean, the training is going to run every night 8:30 p.m. The registration fee, why everything we're going to begin access to, is over 30,000 naira, and even it's something I can comfortably charge 10,000 naira for. You are simply going to pay just 5,000 naira to be part of the training, to be part of the business of teaching masterclass. As I said, the training is starting next week Saturday, and it's only open to just 20 people. Okay, it's a 12 days training. I'm running the program 8:30 every night. It has been, the training, as I've explained, is actually into 5 modules. So as from now on, once you make payments for the training, you're going to have access. I'm going to schedule a 30-minute session with you, to have the call with you, so that we can get going immediately. And also to also add, the training are not actually live training; they are actually pre-recorded training. So that means they are actually on ground already. So which means immediately the training starts, you can go through it as you want. Okay, so that means you go through it. If you have any question, there's always going to be interactive session where we're able to share. We're going to have discussion on what you're learning, what you need, and I'm going to be there to give you all the support you need. Okay, but the training fee, the registration fee, is just what, 5,000 naira. But guess what? This is only for you. I'm giving a 24 hours discount, or let me say, yeah, 24 hours. But it's going to a 24 hours discount of just what, 3,000 naira. So for everybody, register for the training between now and tomorrow, 11:59 p.m. tomorrow, which is Sunday. You only get to pay just 3,000 naira to be part of the training. Then starting from Monday, where with the official flyer of the training is going to be out, is going to be 5,000 naira flat. So to make payments, you simply need to send the 5,000 naira to this account. 8037279843 on OPay. I'm going to drop this thing on the group for everybody to see. Okay. So if this is something you are interested in, then I'm going to implore you that you actually take advantage of it. And the reason why this is actually coming this way, well, this is not even something I actually even want to bring up around this time, but realize this time is one of the most challenging times for everybody, whether child or not, economically, consumer mentality, and come into the producer mentality where you can be guided on how you can produce something. And trust me, you have all it takes to start producing because you have years of experience in teaching. There are a lot of things you can put out today that are going to solve other people's problems. And if you think other people are doing it already, so you don't need to do it, that's part of scarcity mentality because anything they are doing can also do in your own unique and different ways. All right. So I hope we gain value. And please, if you still have any question, I'm still here to answer your what's it called to answer your question. And if you are interested, you can simply screenshot this particular screen that you're seeing now. You can screenshot it right away and make the payment and send the proof of payment to the same number on WhatsApp. Okay, so that you can be added to the group. But next week, Saturday, 17th of February, we're going to kickstart the training by 8:30 p.m. and then it's going to run for 12 days. And I can assure you by the end of 12 days, we're going to have the clarity of what you're going to create your own product on, and you'll be given the guidance you need to start creating the product. All right, so again, thank you so much for being part of this. I really appreciate that you join me in this webinar. I hope you gain massive value. I hope you learn a lot. Thank you so much. I'm really wait to see you. Thank you. Do you have any other question before we call it a day? Let me stop the recording.